especially for kids, and then you get to be a teenager, you don't want to be different. Different isn't viewed as something you aspire to. And so if you do have a limb difference, or, Jen Kendall is a little person, also known as a dwarf, as is her daughter, and just talks about navigating a world not built for you. Because if you're different, the world's built for typical people. The noise levels, the way we communicate, all this, it's built for typical people. So I think those of us who are typical, understanding that it is harder, and also there's, like Jen talked about, there's also some ways that are pretty awesome. And Eleanor said she's great at hide and seek. She feels sorry for tall people. Hide and seek's harder. So yeah. There's good and there's challenges, and we just need to be aware of that and be on alert on how we might assist. I confessed to Jen about the first time we had lunch, and I felt bad because she couldn't reach the soda machine, and I didn't know what to do, and so I ended up doing nothing, which that's the wrong thing. And so she gave me very specific advice. Just say, hey, Jen, why do they make those so high? Can I help you get a drink? What are you drinking? And I think too often when we feel awkward or unsure, we do nothing. And it's much better to just take a step and try.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you think about barriers, like that's a barrier. What have been other barriers besides just, if you're not close to the situation, you don't know what to do. It's easy to just be like, I'm not going to do anything. You just kind of get frozen. Like that's a barrier. What are other barriers you've seen as far as theme wise?
People making assumptions on the reason behind a behavior. Sometimes even people because if we're making assumptions, or which could also be viewed as being judgmental, then we're not going to be curious. You can't be curious and judgmental at the same time. So I think that's a barrier. When we think we know, so I would say then the antidote for that is be curious. And I could have done that with Jen. Just been curious. Hey, so how are you going to get your drink? What can I do to help? Also, when we talk about barriers, and specifically barriers to belonging, I love Dr. Robert Crosby from Reach Hurting Kids Institute, where he talked about the research that they had done, and that behavior is that's like the biggest barrier to kids belonging in church, because people are viewing a behavior that doesn't meet our expectations, people are viewing it as intentional, or a kid being defiant or belligerent, but really, especially for a kid who's experienced trauma, their behavior might be indicating to us that they're overwhelmed or they're afraid. And so he gave some just really simple, practical tips. I love that. I use that podcast a lot in trainings because he gives very specific tools that you can do to help a kid feel safe and to help regulate the behavior. And I will say another thing though on regulating the behavior, I think a lot of people, they'll reach out to me and they'll say, well, just tell me what to do. Like, give me 3 steps. It's different. Like, it depends on the kid. It depends on the context. It depends on if they have Fruit Loops for breakfast every morning and they didn't have any Fruit Loops. And I like Dr. Chenway Williams. Do you remember, Dave, like during her podcast, she said it depends so many times. And I love that because what she was letting us know is there aren't many black and white answers. It depends. And so we have to stay curious and flexible and waiting to respond.
Yeah, there's nuance in every interaction. It's not
right.
There's not a checklist or do these 5 things exactly this every time. It's what's going on, what are the things you don't know about that happened that day or right there, and they might not even be able to, if you could ask that person what's going on, they might not even be able to, even if they could communicate it, they may not be able to communicate, they might not even know. So, which sounds like that's like me, Kim. That doesn't sound like that doesn't sound like these abstract other people. these sound like things that
That's all of us.
It's all of us, yeah.